Hi, everybody. This is Tony from Surf Skate Science. I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to be meeting with Zion. He's Yulian, my son, and he's going to school for architecture. He's also a certified architectural drafter, and he's a skateboarder. And he's going to show us a little bit about how he draws a skate ramp to scale if he's doing plans. So I'm going to hand it off to Zion. He's going to get started, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. All right, guys. So we're gonna go over design and skateboarding and how they relate together. So I have a little presentation for you. So let's get started. So first off, what is design? So design is a plan or drawing produced to show the use of an object that. So with that in mind, design is used for pretty much everything that is man-made, whether it's a car or a house, or design's used for all those things. So with design, you want to identify a problem that you have and then find the best solution to solve that problem. And then how does design relate to skateboarding? Well, if you ever go to a skate park, it's these huge concrete structures, and those take a lot of planning out. How much material do you have to use to make that structure? What's the best way to lay the structure out? So there's 6 principles that I made to follow in skate park design. The first is balance. And balance is, if you have 6 ramps on one side, you don't want 1 ramp on the other side. You want it to be even. So if you had 3 ramps on one side and 3 on the other side, that would be balance. The next principle is alignment. So you don't want 1 ramp all the way to the right and then the ramp that you're trying to get to all the way to the left. The next is proportion. And proportion is, you don't want to have a 16-foot ramp leading you to a 3-foot ramp, because you'll be going way too fast when you hit the 3-foot ramp. And then layout. Layout is the best use of your space that you're given. So if you have a very small space, you don't want to clutter it with a lot of ramps, because you're going to make it a very tight space. And then variety is the types of ramps. So there's all different types of skateboarding. There's street skating, there's vert skating, bowl skating, and park skating. And you want to try to accommodate all those types of skateboarders and give them all something to skate. The last and probably most important principle is flow. So flow is the ability to skate all the ramps in one run, one go around, and while not crossing too many paths of other skaters going in an opposite direction. So flow is important because it makes the skate park a lot more fun for the skater, and it also helps you avoid collision. So in this picture that I have on the screen, can anybody tell me what's wrong with the skate park? If there's anything wrong with this design?
You can just answer in the chat or unmute yourself.
We'll give a couple minutes for anyone. So just see if you can identify anything that's noticeably wrong with a skate park.
Yuli, do you see something wrong?
Yeah, it looks like Helen Keller built it. But no, there's a few things wrong with it.
Okay, go ahead, tell me what's wrong.
There's no run up.
Yeah, so
on the one stairs, and
those stairs don't have enough space for you to get speed to ollie over them. So that's one problem that you can notice off the bat.
And then the rail setup.
Yeah, the rails are really strange. It's a very strange setup for a rail. And then the overall alignment of the skate park is a little bit strange. And then lastly, the layout. They completely cluttered the small space with all these ramps, which it sounds like and it looks like a really good thing at first, but then when you think of having 30 or 40 people skating this skateboard at the same time, you're gonna run into a lot of things. So, and definitely the flow aspect. Having those little corner bowls, it looks nice, but it's gonna get in the way a lot of the times and send people in all different types of directions. So with that being said, we'll get into the next slide. So we're gonna go over 3 main styles of drawing that you can use to draw ramps. So the first one is isometric. So an isometric drawing is when it's a 3D drawing where all the horizontal lines are drawn at a 30-degree angle and all the vertical lines are just drawn at a normal 90-degree angle. So I made a little sketch. I don't know if you guys can see it, but all these lines are drawn at 30 degrees. And you can also see it in the presentation as well. All these images are drawn at that 30-degree angle, and it allows you to see the entire ramp. I don't know if you could see that, but see how there's the horizontal line at the bottom and all the other lines are pushed up at 30 degrees. So that's what makes it that 3D look, and it gives you the most information of the object that you're drawing. So we'll move on to the next one. All right, the next one's an oblique drawing. So an oblique drawing starts with a flat front view of the ramp that you want to draw. And then all the 3D lines are drawn at 45 degrees. So here is an example of that one, a little sketch. And if you can't see the sketch very well, the presentation shows it. It shows this half pipe, and the 3D lines are drawn at a 45-degree angle. And the key with both of these drawings is just to keep, if you can't get a perfect angle, try to keep your angles similar to each other. The close together those angles are, the better it's going to look. So we're going to move on to the last one. And then the last one's called perspective drawing. So perspective drawing is when those horizontal lines are drawn from 1 or 2 points. So if you look at this cube that's on the presentation, there's that dotted line that connects the 2 points, and then all the lines for the cube come from those points. And that gives you the feel, if you look at the drawing of the skate park, it gives you the feel that you're inside the actual park. So that's why it's called perspective. It's the perspective of the person standing in the object. So that's something that makes these drawings very informative and special, is you can really get the feel that you're inside your skate park. So this is definitely a very important one. It takes a lot of practice for sure, especially to do one of the more complex advanced ones like at the bottom. But if you practice even with this cube and practice doing perspective, I promise you, you're gonna grab onto it, and it's gonna get easier and easier the more that you do it. So with that being said, we're gonna move on. Oh, hey, sorry, I forgot. Does anyone have any questions? You can write them in the chat or unmute yourself. So any questions that you have at all, I'm happy to answer them. Okay, we'll move on. All right, so we're gonna go over just basic drawing tools. These are all manual drafting tools. There's also computer programs and things like that that you can use to do drawings, but we're just gonna go over the hand drawing tools. So we'll start out with a lead pointer. So let me grab that. Here it is. So a lead pointer is pretty much just like a fancy pencil. So the reason why lead pointers are used is because you're able to get a very sharp and accurate point with the pencil. And you can use all different types of leads in it. So this lead, actually, if you push it down, it comes out. And the reason you use different leads is because lead could be either harder or softer. And so the softer the lead, the darker it's going to be. The darker your drawing is going to be, and then the harder the lead, the lighter the line that you're drawing is going to be. Next, we'll go over the triangle. So this is actually like a really special triangle. You're able to change it to any angle you want. But what a triangle is used for is to draw specific angles and make sure that they're perfect. So there's 30-degree triangles, there's 45-degree triangles. So there's all different types. And the purpose overall is just to get an exact angle that you want to draw. So now we'll move on. This is a rotary sharpener. So it's actually used to sharpen the lead pointer. Here, I'll show you guys. So you put the lead pointer in here and you rotate it around like that, and you're able to get a perfect sharp point. You can also get a rounded point as well with it. It's super useful because you want your drawings to be very accurate. You want your lead to be very sharp because that's how you get very fine detailed lines. So next, we don't have a T-square right now, but there's an example on the 4th row to the left of a T-square. I don't know if we could highlight it or something like that. But it looks like an axe, kind of. It looks like a Minecraft axe. But what that's used for is to get a very straight line. So you put it on the edge of a table, and you're able to get a very straight 90-degree line. Oh, yeah, perfect. You can see my. All right, so I'm circling it right now with the cursor. It's this one right here. It looks like an axe. This one. All right. So now we're gonna move on. This is a scale. So a scale is it's very similar to a ruler in the sense that it's used to measure and get accurate measurements. But what's special about it is you can draw all different types of scales. And what scaling is, it's taking a very big, large object. So if you're drawing a ramp that's 10 feet tall, you're not going to be able to fit it on the piece of paper. So what you have to do is scale it down. And that's just sizing it down to make it smaller, but all the measurements still correspond to the original size. So they still are the same size if you make it bigger, essentially. So there's all different types of scales that are bigger and smaller on this thing. There's actually 11 of them, one on each side. And so you can draw very small drawings. You can make a very small scale of what the original drawing was, or you can make a larger scale. So a larger scale will show you more detail, and then a smaller scale will allow you to fit more information of the overall drawing that you're trying to do. A couple other things are drafting tape. It's super useful to just tape your drawing down so it's not moving around while you're trying to do everything. Another one is like a straight edge. So it's just like a metal ruler essentially. And you use it, so as an architect student, you make a lot of building models. So that's usually what it's used for, to make cuts and things like that. Another one's an eraser. This is an electric eraser. It actually like rotates, so you can erase really small details in your drawing without erasing the whole drawing. And then there's also one last thing. is a template. So when you're drawing different plans, they have these templates to either draw perfect circles or draw things that would be inside. So this is for a floor plan. So if you look, there's like a little bathtub or vanity in here and things that would be inside a house. So you don't have to sit there and try to draw it out. All right, so we'll move on. Oh, is there any questions before I move on the tools and things like that?
Okay. What is your favorite drawing style? August asked.
Ooh, my favorite drawing style. I like perspective, definitely. I like perspective because it just gives you the sense that you're in the drawing, and it's very like, it's a lot more advanced at some points, but it's the most interesting to me. Like you can get the most interesting detail and things like that. And it explains the most information to people who are very visual. They're able to visualize a perspective drawing very well because it's almost like they're looking at the drawing. So that's a good
I told
question,
them that I would send them a video how to draw like a block, a building block out of perspective so they can try it at home.
Yeah, that one definitely, like all these drawings, there's YouTube videos to do it. But if you stick to those principles, like the degree or the point, that's essentially what builds the drawing. From there, it's just practice. So the cool thing about technical drawing is it's very much just practice. Like anybody can do it as long as you put in the practice for it. You don't need like an insane amount of drawing talent to do it. You just have to be very patient and take the time to practice all the techniques. So, because everything's based on a principle. All right, so next we'll move on. So we have a little exercise to do. That's why we asked you guys to get a ruler and a piece of paper. So do you want to try with your camera, or should I just?
Yeah, I'll watch. Okay, so does everybody have a piece of paper, a ruler, and an eraser, or do you need a few minutes to grab it?
And I can explain the project, the little exercise that we're going to do while you guys are getting that stuff. So we're going to draw a 6 foot long ramp by a 4 foot, 6 foot long and 4 feet tall. And it's just going to be a flat view of the ramp, and we're going to draw it to scale. So what drawing it to scale is every half inch of the ramp is equal to 1 foot of the ramp. So it's really useful to learn how to do scale drawings, because especially in architecture and in drafting and any type of design, you want to be able to show your designs on paper. And you want them to be accurate. So this is how you do it, essentially. So the first step is you want to grab your ruler and count 6 half inches or 3 inches. It's just 3 inches, and draw a horizontal line. So I'll do that. So we got our paper here.
I'm gonna switch so you all can see his video here. Hold on 1 second. Make this a spotlight video. Stop sharing. Okay, can.
So
Hold on 1 second. Let me get you on here. Okay. Can everybody see his paper?
Let me grab it.
I can do it while you draw.
All right, so you just draw a horizontal line that's 3 inches long. Here, I can take that off. So once you draw your 3 inch line, which represents 6 feet at that scale. Oh, there it is right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, there it is. All right. So I drew that 3-inch line, that horizontal line. You might want to get a little bit closer so you can show it. And then next, you're going to draw a 2-inch tall line. So, and that will represent the 4 feet. So for this sake, I'll just go straight up 2 inches. So this line represents 4 feet. This one represents 6 feet. And then the last step, we're going to connect the 2 lines with a diagonal. Or you can do a radius if you want to make it look more like a ramp. But essentially, it's a triangle drawn at 1/2-inch scale. So this is definitely something that you can practice more. But so every 1/2 inch in this drawing is equal to a foot. So it's 6 feet by 4 feet tall. So let's get back to the screen. So yeah, I definitely encourage you guys to practice that more. This is just a simple way to do it. I have an example also. So this is what it will look like. The tall horizontal vertical section will be 2 inches, and then the bottom section will be 3 inches. If you want to do a radius to make it look more like a ramp, you definitely can. And then from there, if you want to try to make it 3D, definitely that's something you should go for. The more practice, the better. But I also have an at-home assignment for you guys to do. It's just a fun, creative assignment, nothing crazy. And if you do it and tag Surfskate Science, they'll send you a prize for it. So you can pick one of 3. The first one is draw your dream park. So using the principles that we went over of skate park design, create your own. So be creative with it, but also try to keep in mind things like flow and alignment, and try your best to create a park using those principles. And then next, draw a ramp using each of the 3 styles. So you can pick any ramp that you want. It can be a simple ramp, it can be a more complicated ramp, and try to draw it isometric, oblique, and perspective. And the last one is design a new ramp. So come up with your own design for a ramp that hasn't been done before. So anything can go. It can be as crazy and wild as you want it to be, as long as you're super creative with it, and it can potentially be skated. Potentially is a very loose term, so go as wild as you want to go with it. I want to see people get very creative with that one, because there's a lot you can do. But if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through like Surfskate Science, or contact just Surfskate Science and ask them your questions. But that's the presentation.
Does anybody have any questions? We'll go ahead and send this out to everybody so you can practice the drawing perspectives and have the assignment. But does anybody have any questions that they want to ask Zion about drawing ramps? You can unmute yourself, or you can talk in the chat. Eden, you have a question?
Oh, there's a question. How long have I done this? I've been doing drafting related things for almost 4 years now. I went to a technical high school where I learned drafting, and we did drawing classes. And now I'm at FAU learning architecture. So it's been 4 years of drafting, and then I spent a year actually working in a design firm, designing houses and things like that.
So Zion was homeschooled too, and he was able to go to Atlantic Tech in Pompano here, Coconut Creek, Pompano area as a dual enrolled student.
Yeah.
So similar to all of you, he was homeschooled. He went in the mornings for a couple hours every day. He had to go all summer as well. but he
it's
was
a long summer for sure.
Yeah, he was able to graduate high school as a certified architectural drafter, which is really cool.
Oh, the next one is
YouTube videos.
do I have any YouTube videos? No, I do not have
You
YouTube
do.
videos.
You have one in the freezer.
Oh, but not like related to this type of stuff. But there are definitely YouTube videos out there for drawing and things like that. And I can definitely help you guys if you have any questions. I'll have my mom give you guys my email. And if you feel free to email me any questions you have, drawing related or design related, and I'm completely willing to help you guys and help you guys learn more about it. Because today was the basics, but if you guys are interested and want to learn more, definitely reach out and send me an email.
So, but Zion probably has some videos skateboarding.
Yeah.
and doing funny things on YouTube way back when, if you want to see little Zion.
All right.
Any other questions? Does anybody?
Any other questions?
They want you to draw your dream park. Or what would your dream park look like?
Okay.
What's your favorite skate park right now?
No. There's I messed up. It says draw you dream park.
Oh, okay.
But it's draw your dream park. That's my bad. I made the presentation super late last night, but it's draw your dream park.
Well, Zion, what's your favorite place to skate? And what's your favorite skate park?
My favorite skate park is Lot 11. Because of the design of it, it caters to all types of skateboarders. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. There's a bowl, a street section, lots of ramps. And it also takes famous skate spots from Miami and incorporates it into the design of the skate park. So it's super interesting. If you guys have a chance to go out there after the whole coronavirus thing, I definitely suggest going out and checking out Lot 11 skate park. The design is absolutely beautiful. So any other questions? You guys have this time to ask whatever you want, so I would definitely take advantage of it. And then we can, if you want, we can share some.
What is it? What is?
It's called Lot 11.
Oh no, Marcus has been to Lot 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Miami, Lot 11 skate park.
Yeah,
it's his favorite. Does anybody else have any other questions? We will go after this. Anybody who was on the call, I'll send them the PowerPoint. I'll find a video on how to do perspective drawings, which are the most complicated, and probably the other two as well. And we'll send that all out to each of you. And then one more thing, Yuli's on the call, but he's not here with us. He's actually working on a ramp, so he can show you what the ramp looks like after you draw the plans and you start to build it. So I am going to go ahead and make him a co-host. Hold on 1 second. And I'm going to let him show you what he's doing real quick. Yuli, can you share your screen? Are you able to?
I can see myself.
Okay, let me see if we can share your screen here. Make you a spotlight video. Can everybody hear Yuli?
I'm here.
I see him.
Okay, cool. So show us what you're doing, Yuli.
Well, I'm in a backyard ramp right now, and 5 minutes ago, and I'm taking panels. Basically, it has skate light on it, and skate light is the top surface of a ramp. Wood ramp isn't an ideal ramp for Florida because it rots. You're going to see that as I show you. But if you're going to do it, you need to have skate light on it. Skate light is supposed to be water resistant. I wouldn't say it's waterproof. Water does get underneath, and you're going to see that. and I'll take you around so I can show you a little bit of this ramp that I'm working on. It's kind of a nightmare ramp, unfortunately. The owner of the ramp just told me, hey, I just need a deck put. So here's the deck. If you see the deck, it's like rotted. Can you see that, guys? Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. There's a little bit of a lag, so you're gonna have to stay at each point for a little longer.
Okay, can you, okay. So here's the top layer. This is the deck. It's falling apart. So I started taking apart the skate light, and this is what I found. This is the floor. See that? Totally rotten. Okay. Can you see that? Can you guys see it?
Yeah, we see it.
So let me show you real quick. See if I can move the screen.
Why does that happen?
Well, it happens because the skate light, which is the skate light, if you see, water gets underneath it, okay? Water gets underneath here and it just sits. You can see the color of the wood. That's all water that just sat there, okay? Now, if you see, it's starting to rot completely. Like this whole ramp needs to be replaced. My friend was like, yeah, we need the deck replaced. Well, that's not true. Look at this. Eventually, it won't be able to support the skate light, which is right here. This is the skate light. And another problem of this ramp, whoever built this ramp, I'm not going to name any names, did it horizontally with the last sheet. I say no, ever do that. The reason why is because usually these, you see the seams right here. The way he had it over here, he had the seams right on the transition. So it creates a kink. So when you go over this seam, right? Go over the seam, especially on this transition, it's like a kink. You could feel it. I would never do this. And I'm not, it is what it is. I don't know why they did it this way, but I would do it vertically. So I would do a 4x8 piece of skate light, and I would lay it vertically so that when you have your seam, it's going to land on flat. So you already have the momentum, you already have the speed, you're going to go right over that, and you don't have the issue that you had over here. I already took it out, but what happened is the seam was landing about somewhere right here. So when you drop in, you're like, you would feel it. It's called a kink. So I'm probably going to have to take apart this whole ramp. All of this has to come out. As you can see, I'll show you. You guys can see me, right?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so if you can see, if I'm right here, look at this ramp. Watch this. This is the floor of the ramp. See that? Totally rotted out. Okay? Totally rotted out. So a wood ramp isn't ideal for an outside ramp, but I mean, it's still a lot of fun. However, a concrete ramp would be better, but it's not ideal because you're not going to build a concrete ramp in your backyard, because when you have to move, it wouldn't be great. So the people that built it actually thought of, they tried to do it right. They put, if you see all the posts right here, and they put it above ground. The problem with that is, I mean, and you know what? I think this ramp's been around for like, I don't know, I want to say more than 6 years. So they got a lot of fun out of it. So, I mean, it's totally worth it. I heard that they had a lot of fun and all of that. So it's just maintenance, you know. So now I got to come in here and I gotta, you know, put new wood and all of that. I'll probably fix some of the structure of the ramp and all of that.
So cool. So Yuli, can you
Yeah.
see everybody from class?
A little bit. I mean, I can see not. I mean, I'm outside, so I don't know. I can't really see too much. But does anybody have any questions? You want to ask me any questions?
Does anybody have questions about building ramps for Yuli? So Yuli, how do you take a plan like Zion draws and then make a ramp out of it?
Well, I would look at his ramp. I would look at his plans, and then I would look at all the dimensions, and I would get the materials. And now it depends if he's building it with concrete or not. I mean, even concrete, you need a wood frame. You know how you do it is you build a frame. You get your steel, your mesh, and then you frame it out, and then you shotcrete it. You know, it's this big hose with pressure, and it just shoots out the concrete. So you still need wood, but later you take the wood out, but you still need to frame it. So I would look at his plans. I would look at the radius. I would have him give me all the details. What type of radius? Is it a 7.5 foot radius? Like what type of radius it is? And then I would look at
The radius is how it curves.
yeah, so you got to think of it as a circle, right? So you see this ramp right here? Let me show you. See this ramp right here? If you see it, you got one side and then you got the other side. It's almost like it's like this is called a mini ramp because it's about 3 feet high. And if you think about it, if you keep going up, you're gonna it's almost like a circle. You're gonna do a half a circle, right? And then you can do a whole circle. So a radius is that. It's part of a curve of a circle. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
So the ramp.
So
Show me the ramp. I want to see the ramp.
They want you to do a far away view of the ramp so they can see the whole ramp.
Oof, it's beat up. Oh, I like how it's elevated. Yeah, it looks cool.
well, that's what I was saying. It's elevated. No, it's not on a hill. It's in a backyard. So I'll show you real quick. The backyard's huge.
It's on that.
Uneven ground.
Oh, it's uneven. That's why.
Yeah, it's uneven. It's uneven ground, but this is a huge backyard, if you can see.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's really big. That's
So-
cool.
Where's that at?
So if you guys send me $5, I'll send you the address.
I don't think they'd like that. But okay, does anybody else have questions about the skate ramp? You're welcome to unmute your mics or go ahead and just write a question in the chat box.
Hey, Yuli, I got a question.
Yes.
When you're using hardware to put your sheets on the top of the ramp, what kind of screw heads are you using?
I like the deck screws. I like the T25s.
Nice. Okay.
T25s are kind of like the star.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're called grabbers.
Grabbers.
And
Okay.
what they do is they coat them. Now I'm glad one of the most important things with building a ramp is the hardware that you use. Now this guy, and I'm not going to name any names, he used drywall screws.
Gotcha.
Now, if I show you some of it, I've been having a really hard time getting these things out because what happens is they rot. You see that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they rot out. I think he started getting the memo because then he started using the coated ones later.
Right.
So I would always use deck screws.
Gotcha.
It lasts a lot longer.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I've actually built decks and experienced the exact same thing and used the exact same hardware. That's good to know, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No worries. Thanks for the question.
No problem.
So how long does it take to build a mini ramp like that from scratch? So somebody asked this question. How long would it take you to build a mini ramp like that?
I mean, it depends. I mean, if I have Zion with me, I could get it done in 2 days, you know, like, or 3 days. But I don't know
Many
if he
workers
can.
make light work.
Yeah, but I don't think he can handle me for 3 days. He could only handle me for like a day, I think. But it gets intense, guys. It gets, you know, like you're trying to build this thing. A lot of issues can come, you know. I like what Zion was pointed out. I didn't even realize it. If you could see on one side of this ramp, there's an elevation, you know, you see that it's right on the hill, and it's because of uneven ground. They did a good job doing that, but that's about all they did. I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm not trying to rip this guy's work apart, but this is a really bad no-no to do skate light like horizontally like that. I hate that. I always say do it vertically, and because you'll cover more ground and it'll be a lot more smoother because you're going to use 4x8 sheets. Let me show you the skate light. Now, skate light's water resistant. See how the weather kind of made this one brown? But look, if I flip it over, it's like brand new. You know, it looks really good over here. And this doesn't rot. You know, this thing is skate light. The problem with this material, it's about $150 a sheet. So that's like $150 by a 4x8 sheet of skate light. And I don't know about you, but it can get really expensive. I think here we got 5 sheets. So 5 times 150 is what? Who's my mathematician?
750.
That's a $750 bill that your mom and dad, you're going to have to really convince them that you need this ramp, you know? So, yeah. Any more questions?
Anybody else? Okay, well, thanks, Julie. Have fun. Be safe.
Bye, guys. Bye. See you later.
Okay, everybody. So I guess we are going to go ahead and wrap up class today. I'll go ahead and I'll send everybody who logged into Zoom today is going to get an email with the PowerPoint presentation and a couple tutorial videos. And then I'll send you directions for drawing one of those 3 assignments. And if you draw them and you either email them to us or post it on social media and tag us, then we will send you something in the mail. We've been having fun sending people gifts in the mail and little things happening. So we'll go ahead and do that for everybody. So if anybody has any other questions, you can email us at surfskatescience. It's info@surfskatescience.com, info@surfskatescience.com. We have a lot of really cool lessons today live. So if you haven't been on any of them, we have a couple from National Geographic today and Sharks for Kids. To log into any of those, you're just going to go to our Surf Skate Science website, and on the very top there's a banner about the coronavirus, and there's a place that says click here for our live free lessons. Click on there, and I think today you can learn how to draw a fish with this really cool artist that does he does postage stamps for the United States Postal Office. He's done stuff for National Geographic, so you can learn how to draw a fish. There's another class that talks about making 3D models today for scientific reasons. It's really cool. So just go on surfskatescience.com, click on our online classes, and any of those are free for you to join. So we hope we get to see you all soon. We hope we get to go to Lot 11 soon again with our Miami class, and Betty Stradling with our Broward class. We miss everybody. We hope you all are staying safe and having fun at home. We also have a contest on Instagram where you can do your best surfing at home. And there's some examples on Instagram that you can do. And if you post something about that, you also get a prize in the mail. So There's a couple ways to win stuff and get something in the mail for free from Surfskate Science. So we'll talk to you all soon. Again, if you have any questions, email us at info@surfskatescience.com. I'll send them to Zion or Yuli, or we'll get those answered for you. I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to unmute you so you can say hi to each other, and then I'm going to shut down the meeting.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.